This is Show versus Business, your weekly take on pop culture from two very different perspectives, with your host, the real Theo Harvey, and Mr. Benja coming with all the relevant information for the week. So, Mr. Benja, what are we covering today?
Oh man, we got five bangers as we always do. This time we have the writer's strike. Is it over? You think so? They made a deal, but the actors still haven't gotten their stuff together. So we don't know what's going to happen. I don't actually know if this is all good. I don't know. Hollywood seems to think it's like really extravagant. So there's some talk still on going on. But yes, the pens have been put down. The strike is over for the writers for now. Actually, if you're talking about the writers, they picked the pens back up. So we'll get to that. We'll get to all of that. Also, Zuck is making the metaverse hot again. We used to have this old thing where you'd see somebody in the metaverse in Zuck's metaverse looking all crazy. Now they just released a video interview with Lex Friedman and it's photorealistic and it's trippy. Got to talk about that one. Also, we're going to start this little thing called the Neighborhood AI Watch because we got to keep an eye on the AI and what it's doing. We've got some interesting things that are happening in the world of Spotify and the world of Getty Images. Things are happening. We just want to make sure you're informed. So this is going to be our Neighborhood AI Watch featuring Spotify. Also, is the Hollywood model sustainable? We talked about it before a little bit, but we want to jump back and get into it because there's a lot going on and this industry is crazy. So we got the big guys and we got the little guys. Who's going to survive? Nobody in the middle, I can tell you that. Also, finally, we're going to have James Gunn saying things people don't understand. And he actually says we're not going to understand what's happening. So that's not like hyperbole. But we're going to get into it because we love the DCU, or we think we do. And James Gunn's got things to say about it. So those are our five stories coming up, Theo. How does that sound?
Man, it sounds good, man. I was just thinking about it real quick. We got to come up with a nice little theme song or something for the AI watch, man. I was thinking of something like this. If this is going to work, we're doing this in real time. And you hear this?
I hear nothing.
Oh, that's not good. Okay, that's
Okay.
not the one I'm looking for. I'm looking for some like creepy music. I thought it was unsolved mysteries, but I was looking for something that's showing up. The do 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 do. You just we're gonna come up with some kind of sound every time we do AI watch, guys. So be on the lookout for that. Mr. Benja, this is we're recording this on a Friday, and so the week is over, Mr. Benja. Mr. Benja, are you watching any new shows on Prime right now?
Prime?
Was
I
on
got an
Prime.
ad for something I was going to watch, but I decided not to. So I guess the answer is no to that.
Well, Mr. Benja, that I think that's the only streaming service you pretty much are obligated to have, right? At this point.
Obligated, yes. Everybody else can get dropped.
We didn't cover this. They're going to raise the price sometime in 2024.
That
Five,
is.
I think they were saying $5 a month for Prime Video. So just be on the lookout for that. So that might be another one that gets dropped, Mr. Benja, for you.
Yeah, and I'll keep Prime around just because Prime is Prime, right? You can't
Well,
separate them, can you? Or yes, you can.
they probably will have to, right? They're going to charge you something for it. And then, because right now we get it free because everybody gets the 2-day shipping with it. But yeah, that is something that they may do. But I bring that up is because I switch around to these different streaming services based on what I like. I was talking about Stars before because they have the show called Heels, which unfortunately they canceled. As soon as the writer's strike was announced, it was over. I had just heap praises on this show, right? This wrestling show, how
Uh-huh.
great the writing was. Yep, it's gone. So then I moved over to Apple TV and was watching The Foundation, which is my jam. Really hyped it up about it.
Yes.
Now I'm over on Prime and Gen V. Have you heard about that?
I know what Gen V is. I even watched the little cartoon preview. I like that from the boys.
Yeah. I saw the first episode the other night and I'm digging it. You like that foul type of stuff from the boys mixed with a little trend of some good drama. I like it, man. They got a black female lead. What's her name? Jason Clay. I always liked her. She's a good actress, young actress. So she's a lead trying to be a superhero in this world. And it's a college setting. So it's just they're taking the same concepts from the boys and actually some of the same cameos of people show up in this as well. kudos for the team, man. They're trying to really, and it's a new property, right? It's not based on Garth Ennis, The Boys. They may have talked about it, but they I don't think they
Yeah.
had a whole storyline around the university setting of, I think it's called God Lincoln, or that's the name of the university, where Supes can try to be a superhero or they can be a Hollywood star. That's it. That's something you can do. And so anyway, I'm digging it. So that's one prime show I'm back in on. The Boys is definitely, and the Boys universe is starting to expand. So I like that. And the other one, I think I talked about it maybe I never talked about it, but the Wheel of Time series, that's on Prime. Very popular fantasy
How
series that people
how do you watch that? Do I do
have
I
you
need
yeah, have
do I need to skip ahead and get excited about something, then go back and watch?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Some of these shows, man, these fantasy shows, it's like Game of Thrones. To me, it was always good from day one, and that's why I jumped in it. But some of these fantasy stories, they're so dry for so long because they're doing so much story building, right? This is how your magic work, and this is where we're going to next, and this geographic, and this is how it's different from it. And I'm this type of race of person, and you're this type of race of person. That exposition does get annoying, but it's just something you have to do. But once you get through that initial piece, yes, it's starting to grow on me. Now, I will say this also, the Wheel of Time TV show, at least, I think it suffered from some bad actors. As a matter of fact, they replaced one of the leads from season one to season two. So yeah, it was a lot of, there's some good acting, but then there's like glaringly folks that just don't make it work at all. And so I
Okay.
think that was a problem with the first season. But this season, even with some of the characters I thought were annoying from the first season, they put into some interesting storylines that makes it more interesting. And then to your point, now that I've got through the exposition of the story and the characters and the settings and all that, now you're starting to dig into why it's pretty good. So I'm digging it. Still, some storylines still suck. If you're looking for that fantasy fix, go check it out.
Man, ain't nobody got time for that. Was is my That's my initial mental response.
It's on Prime though. It's on Prime. This is stuff you can watch right now, Mr. Benja. We're going to talk about Ashoka.
Oh, right. Yeah, I'm gonna get back on that. So I was looking up and it says you can have Amazon Prime Video without having a Prime membership. And they say, however, if you have a Prime subscription, there appears to be no way to downgrade to a Prime Video only plan. You'll have to cancel your whole Prime thing and then sign up again as a new person and then get Prime Video by itself. And yeah, it
Well,
doesn't seem like you can have the Prime subscription without the video coming in along free. They're just going to give it to you. They don't care.
yeah, for
So
now, but I do predict that they're probably going to split that up because they say they're going to start charging people for the video piece of it. I would assume they would try to charge you something for that
yeah,
or try to figure
but you
out a
see what
way
I'm
to split
saying? You
that
can
up.
get the video by itself. You
Oh
just
yeah,
can't.
definitely.
Yeah, you just can't get free 2-day shipping and not get an ad for a video.
Yeah, they want that money, that Amazon money. I'm surprised they're doing it because we talked about this. They're gonna do a Black Friday football game. Prime has now had these carries football now, Thursday night footballs. And so
Yeah.
now they're gonna get Friday night football on a Black Friday. This is huge, man. I'm gonna be there for that. I gotta see what this looks like because this is like if Black Friday ain't an Amazon holiday. I don't know what is. Is. 'Cause basically
Are,
that's when everybody buys stuff.
are you big on Prime Week?
No, I hate it.
Mm.
I'm one of those guys. I'm a Cyber Monday guy. I just wait to, especially for Christmas and stuff. I just wait to Cyber Monday and I buy stuff for myself, like clothes.
Yeah.
Just buy all that stuff at that time.
You know what they're doing right now? No one advertises this, but there's always the pre-holiday sales. So
Mm.
before the holidays actually start, what they do is they go in there and just get real sneaky and they'll put stuff 50% off, 60% off, just here and there randomly
Right.
so they can get rid of last year's stock and make
You're
room for the
right.
new stuff coming in. But they don't
You're right,
advertise it.
man.
You just have
Yeah,
to
they
walk through.
wouldn't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
they
have to
wouldn't.
walk
You're right.
through Best Buy or whatever and be like, "Hey, it's a nice TV. Why is it 60% off?" And there it goes.
Mysteriously, though, you're right. Because, yeah, you get a Black Friday deal for one item just to get the rest of the people in, but everything else
Yeah,
is still about the same price. See, wait a minute. Is this really a
yeah.
deal or not?
You come in at 7% off. Come on, man. You got me in here
Oh,
with
real talk. Real talk. I saw this. I think, or maybe you told me about this, or man, I saw it. Our boy, Adam Conover, he explains it all. He had somebody on his show. He talked about how Costco, have you ever been to Costco before? Why they
Yes.
have their hot dogs so cheap for $1, right?
Mhm.
because they know that gets the people coming in. And then while they're there, they're going to buy something else in this whole warehouse of wonderfulness. So they keep it purposely there. And that's a promotion, right? And it makes sense because we think about, I'm looking at customer acquisition costs, right? How much it costs to get my customers to buy a product of mine. Sometimes if I know that lifetime value to my customer is like $10,000, shit, why not give them something that's worth $1,000? I don't care because they're gonna
I'll
make it
give
on the back end.
I'll give 'em a hot dog.
Hey, your lifetime value might be worth $5. I don't know what the value of your stuff is.
That's actually pretty big because if you think about Costco, it's you don't just get somebody who goes in, they gotta go in, get a membership, they're gonna get gas, all this, and in their head, they're like, "Damn, I need one of those hot dogs or maybe a slice of pizza this time." And that's
Every
like
time I go in, the kids are always asking me if they had different stuff or maybe do go more often. They just hot dog and pizzas. I can guarantee, but every time I take the kids, boy, hot dog, and you almost get it because it's only $1.
yeah,
I
man.
got $1. I got 50 cents.
Finesse them kids.
How much for one half a hot dog?
Finesse them kids.
So yeah, anyway, so that's business 101. And then the other thing this week, I think I talked to you about Thursday Night Lives on IG, trying
Yeah,
to
yeah.
connect with the business leaders. So Mr. Benja, if you want to join one night, let me know. And
Oh,
I ask a couple questions and then we do a round robin, quick questions, just boom. It's just really just talking about entrepreneurs, met all these dope entrepreneurs at the Best Fest and trying to keep that going and that communication channel going. And I think it's been fun. I enjoyed. So I had one yesterday with New Plug, and we talked about how he's building a brand, a clothing brand in 2023. And I had a watch guy the other day. But yeah, it's expanding my brand a little bit outside the healthcare space, but I'm
alright.
okay with that. Yeah. So more to come on that. But yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Nice, nice, very cool. Man, I've been feeling good lately though, man. I've really been getting zen as hell. And what's funny is, boy, Dr. Benjamin Hardy was actually part of that. And,
Okay, man. Back to
you know,
Ben.
with that 20% focus, he's just like, "Hey, man, with your focus on that 20% that gets you the biggest return." And I started thinking about the 80% of nonsense that was, like, going on in my head, and I'm like, "Man, why am I thinking about what this girl said to me?"
Huh.
So I ran into check this out, I ran into this girl again, right? And we're talking, and she, like, put one of those little barbs out to try to get me upset, and was like, "Things are like this and this, and I'm just saying that's how it is." And throwing it at you to piss you off, and I was just,
Mhm.
"What? I'm sorry." That was outside of my 20% of stuff I care about. So, it's working out great, man, it's just great. So now I'm trying to figure out how to deal with that and actually get back into the mode of liking sales. I know this is hard it's hard for creators like myself, not creatives or in general, but I won't put that out there. But a lot of us, it's like the whole thing of like, all right, let me get down and do this whole sales thing, call this person up, make these connections, do X, Y, and Z. It's just difficult, but it's going, man. It's going well. I'm zen as hell, and I'm happy about it. So it'll come through.
I love it. The secret to sales, I'm realizing I think I'm getting better at it. It's pretty good at it, but I'm getting better at it. You just can't care.
Oh
That's
God,
the simple
yeah,
that's the zen part about it. You gotta focus more on. So for instance, I said, you know what? I've had doing my core business, right? I'm selling all the time on there. But I said, you know what? Let me just create something else on the side. Just play with that and see how that goes. So I've been selling people on some coaching services and stuff like that to see if I can help them on a business standpoint. And I don't care. Sir, people think I'm watching this.
yes,
When I say I don't care, if they buy it, they don't. It's just, hey, I know I can help you. This is how I can help you. If the price is what the price is, if you don't like it, no harm, no foul. We'll still be friends. Reach out to me. But I just
yeah,
know that I can get you from A to Z. And the more you don't give an F, then the more they want you. And that's always been my philosophy.
yeah.
In business life and in pre-married life, you just
Oh
can't
yeah, yeah,
care about the outcome because once you care about the outcome, people sense it. They want to go for the jugular. Like for instance, I just closed pretty close to closing this big deal on my core business. And my business partner was, oh no, I would just take the money and run, man. Don't go too high. Don't do. So I said, F that. So it's no, I want all
Sound
this
like
money up
Cardone right
front.
now.
Yeah, I have to, man. And
Oh,
so it was funny. They tested me too. So it was like, I put it out there. I said, this is the price. You got to pay this much up front. And this is what's going to be on a monthly basis. I said, and I didn't say anything. I just quiet. I put it out there. And they got nervous. They were like, okay. We're just trying to figure out. I said, okay. And then I left it at that. Then they came back and emailed me. We just want to check your numbers correct. I said, yes. Period. Then she sent me an email. Okay, let's go to contract. I was like, damn it, I could got some more money out of you. So yeah, so you just can't, you gotta focus on the outcome. Now, I can't really focus on the outcome. You just gotta focus on your process and then detach yourself from the outcome. But yeah, man, good luck on that sales thing, man. I know it's not easy, but once you get, it's like a muscle. Once you start doing it, then it gets easier and you just don't care.
yeah. I'll talk about this again later at some other date. But the relationship between a lot of the woo spiritual side of America and the business side of America, how those two connected. And right now we see them as different side, completely opposing forces, but they used to be together. And I think a lot of the big dogs really get that. And I'm starting
Mm.
to come around to understand that, oh, the whole woo law of attraction kind of stuff combined with your Tony Robbins, massive action, get out there and get that thing.
Good
These are all
point.
two different sides of the same coin, and you go back to dudes like Zig Ziglar, you go back to dudes like
Mhm.
the what's his name? Vanderbilt and Kellogg, a lot of these guys who had the spiritualism and the business side, they were just one thing to them. So I'm actually taking notes on that. I'll have to release that one day, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
kind of
yeah, that
crazy what it's been showing me.
and you know what? I think it's all because I've been listening to this coach. She's a young girl, young woman. She is in her 30s. She started coaching like literally right out of college. She went to what HBCU? She went to HBCU. I want to say it was Hampton,
Okay.
and then just started coaching right out of that. She was a life coach at like 20. Wow. So anyway, so she started that. So she's got like young kids and she's a big time coach. But you listen to her talk and stuff that she puts together. It's nothing ground shaky, but
Yeah.
she has a process flow. And so I say all to say is that's part of it, right? That whole she puts so much content out there about with the woo-woo-ness that she's attracting folks that will pay her 5 figures for her coaching program because she's doing all that woo stuff combined with just that law of attraction that people come to her. What
Yeah.
they call magnetic marketing, where it's just
Oh man,
uh,
yeah.
yeah, the magnetic marketing is real, man. Oversubscribed talked about that. Dan Priestley, I don't know if you read his book, but it's just you put that content out there, and now because of social media, people just get so wrapped up in you that selling them is so much easier now because they already know who you are. And I was telling my brother in law about this. He's a lawyer, right? And I said, I know we're going long today on the segment, but this is good stuff. So people need to write some notes, man. We're chopping bones today. Yeah. So I was talking to my brother-in-law, right? He's a lawyer, right? He's want to do real estate. I said, man, you could probably you get way more views than I could because people are actively searching what he knows. So if he's in real estate.
Yeah.
I said, just do 10 videos a month and release them or 15 videos a month, release them every other day on shorts. Here are the 3 ways to buy real estate. Here are the 3 ways not to buy real estate. Here are the 3 ways to buy a short sale. I said, I guarantee you have 1,000 followers in 6 months because that's people actually searching for that. And then it's going to make his job easier because he's already helped them. They already know that he can help them. So they'll oh man, I got all this free advice from this lawyer already. Why not hire him for something I want to pay for? So it's,
Have with buying up I forgot where I was going with that. See,
no, it's
I
okay.
got so many good ideas in my head.
Yeah, but just folks like that who have, especially B2C, that's a specific thing that you can Google search for how to buy real estate. I said, just answer all these questions, man. You have such a unique niche that you could just really, dominate and get a lot of clients just on GP, man. And I can help him target and all that stuff, which is something I'm going to help him do for his local audience. So stuff like that, man. I think people don't realize, man, that's the where we in. The old way of selling
Yeah.
has changed. Even Grant Cardone talked about it. He did the old way. Remember, he said he used
Yeah.
to talk about how he said he was traveling what 260 days a year.
Mhm.
doing all these little seminars and all this crap. And then once he got to the social media, he said, F that. I'm doing this.
Yeah.
So anyway, so yeah, we're going in the rabbit hole, but
Well,
maybe we'll do a whole day on just business strategies.
and it's amazing really quick how all these success and business sites, you can just go to any of them on Instagram or social media, how they're just littered with the woo woo side of it. So something's happening where I think we're all coming back to that, or something's happening. I don't know.
Oh, and I hate to go do much, but
Do
the
it.
young girl, her name is Courtney L. Sanders. I'll put her out there. Yeah, she's good stuff. She talked about that. She said a lot of times, and I think Mark, the other guru I listened to, Myron Golden, talked about that. Most people, it's not so much about the tactics, it's the mindset. And that's why the movie is so important because a lot of people they really don't want, yeah, you could just bombard them, do all this stuff. But nine
Yeah.
times out of 10, it's really this mind that's preventing them from getting to the next step. And you have to keep it simple so they can get to that next level. If you make it too esoteric, sometimes I think people don't get it and there you won't get the change as fast. So sometimes you have to teach less. And I'm starting to realize that because I've been on calls with folks literally, right? Recently, when I'm trying to talk to
Mhm.
them about just helping them, they will spend an hour there if I let them talking about how much they know about their product knowledge, right? Whether it's, oh, I can do this, or I know this about this and that, kind of convince me that they know. I said, look, that's great, but how do you translate that to someone else to help them?
And there you go.
That's the issue. So anyway, we're going down the rabbit hole, but I love it. This is good
All
stuff.
right. It's over for now. Speaking of which, story number one, the writer's strike is over. Hallelujah. We can get shows back. I don't have to watch any more reruns of Suits or whatever you're watching. Or is it over? We don't. Okay. They got a deal. It's written down, tentative deal. So here's what we know. And then Theo, fill us in on what's happening with this writer's strike.
Yeah. So look, man, there's a lot of different areas on these writer strikes. I want to just any negotiate deal, people get some of the stuff they want, not everything. So there was like four major points, right? If I just talk high level about it, was they wanted some more people on the writers' rooms. They wanted pathway to have these writers get engaged more. And so they got some of that. They wanted 12. I think they got six. So that means that if you're filming a minimum number of episodes, you can get six writers in a room. Perfect. The other thing they wanted success metrics, right? So streaming, if difficulty was streaming was not given the sense of something was successful or not. So there's no sense of residuals, right? Or hey, I should get a bump because something was successful. So they put some, they didn't really get into, from my understanding, they didn't get into, hey, Netflix is going to give you rating, the actual numbers, what they actually see. They more or less say, hey, this is a success. There's going to be a success metric. And you'll be able to understand that a little bit better. And then the third thing that we talk about a lot of times is AI, artificial intelligence. And they
Yeah.
really prevented, they put some language in there that just said that AI can't write, no, rewrite literary material for projects. So basically, AI rewritten material could not be credited, could not be talked about. And then technically the AI material, any AI could not be using artists and stuff to be trained. So it's words, sure. I don't know how sticky those words are, but those 3 points, AI having some kind of success metric, having some kind of sense of a writer's room so people can develop their writing style or things that all the writers wanted, but not to the level they wanted, but it was something. Yeah. So it's over 146 days. So we should start seeing some more. The next is up the SAG after where they're looking to get the actors back in the mix. But now the writer's strike is done. I'm sure that's going to be pretty quick. But yeah, that's the high level. As a outside looking in, both of us really, maybe I follow a little bit more. What are your thoughts about this whole mess about these writer strikes? You feel from what you've seen, you feel like they got what they needed, or do you feel like it was all a big nothing?
The reason I said, or is it over, is because the Suits, the Hollywood guys, the executives, they didn't sound very enthusiastic about this. It's like they got punched in the stomach. They're like, "Yeah, we gave him the money. Yeah, we can't get like one writer in a room and have him do the entire show and just pay that one guy. Now we got to get 6 and 7 guys. There has to be a minimum number of people on the project, stuff like that." So they're spreading the money around. They're getting more money, increases of royalty payments, as it said. We can't like you can't do a certain amount of if AI is used, it's gonna be just listed as another tool, like an artist uses Photoshop. This AI might be a tool. It might help me out, but I'm still the writer. You're gonna come through me. I'm gonna write this stuff by hand. And it just seems like it's very I don't know, the executives swallowed it and they're like, "All right, we're gonna go through with this." But it seems like they don't have it seems like they've got another thing coming. So, like, maybe a year or 2 from now, when we start to see how this all plays out, maybe writers will be pissed off again because it's like, "Hey, wait a minute, I didn't think everything would be like this. Now we got this happening and there aren't as many shows. Now we got a bunch of reality stuff going on." I don't know. It doesn't seem like the executives are very happy, and that doesn't tend to go over well when the executives aren't happy. So, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, two things. So number one, it's a contract. So it's got last in May once it's ratified, 2026. So you got another 3 years kind of debate. To your point, we'll really see how AI is decimated off the entire industries. And then we'll see what that fight's gonna look like. But number two, I think what happened too with social media, man. You remember all the stuff that was going on? Like anybody that was trying to thinking about coming back, even though they had rights to come back. Remember the whole Drew Barrymore? Did you hear that mess? Where she was supposed to come out
No.
of her show. Yeah. So late night shows could come back, talk shows could come back. But Drew Barrymore, people tend to like, she has a talk show. She was talking about she's gonna come back. The writers lambasted her on social media. And so she put out this hostage video which says, I wanted to come back because I wanted to save the jobs for my people, but this may not be the best time to come back. It was hilarious. And writers smart people, they get on social media, they amplify their voice, and next thing people are changing tunes when it came to people. So I think that helped a lot, the social media aspect of it, more so than the last strike. And that kind of helped the studio executives had to bow down a little bit to what the writers wanted because they were winning the war on social media everywhere they went. But at the same time, to be honest with you, man, executives are executives for a reason. I do feel to them, this is just okay, we'll give them what they want, but we're not going to give you everything, which is really what they really wanted. And they never really dug deep into this was what are the metrics for streaming? What is success? Netflix, open up your Komodo and tell us what is a rating success or not. And they didn't do it. And so I was like, that was the gold jewels, man, because if Netflix could reveal what they consider success, we have inklings of it, right? We know what's it called? Stranger Things is a success, right? We know Squid Game is success, but they know, and they know if it's a good or not, and they know what's going to be good. But they did not release those numbers, and I think that's why executives are executives, man. They give them some money, they gave away on some AI stuff for now, but the crown jewels, in my opinion, was getting a sense because we have no sense of what's a success anymore in TV shows.
Yeah, that's a good point. But you know how they could lower prices on things and still get more stuff created?
How you do that?
They could go into VR production and call your boy Zuck. In fact, that's gonna take us into story number 2. Zuck makes the metaverse hot again. Theo, Zuck is still on this metaverse thing, and he is coming back with some ideas, some heat, some product. He even resurrected an old video from, what was it, 2012 or something like that, where he brought out his whole idea of AI and what it could do. He's, yeah, I was on this stuff way back then. Check that out. And then a couple days later, he's out. Now check this out. He does this interview with Lex Friedman's a popular guy. He talks to Elon Musk, a lot of tech heads, gets into deep conversations.
Yeah, 3 hours long
Yeah, I was about to
conversation.
say
Yes.
Joe Rogan, who's not funny and very scientific, if you can imagine that. Or maybe that's what you think Joe Rogan is already. Anyway, so he gets on this podcast, but instead of doing it in person like they normally do, they did it over VR. And the videos that they're putting out start by showing you the VR of Lex Friedman saying, "Hi, I'm Lex Friedman. This is the podcast." Da. And everybody thought it was really Lex Friedman. It was a 3D generated image of him in Zuck's metaverse before they had their conversation. So they looked at him, then they looked over at Zuck, and they're like, "Yeah, we're not in the same room or anything. This is a VR construct." So they both had VR headsets on. One person was in Austin, the other person was somewhere else, California, and it looked just like it looked really good. So this is pumping Zuck's new VR helmet. This is pumping the metaverse and this new technology. And I don't know if you've seen the images, but it looks pretty good.
Okay. So, Mr. Benja, you're very critical about products and how things look. You thought it would look good. So I haven't seen it yet. So maybe I'll check it later. I'm just rolling my eyes because the one success he's had legitimately without having to buy it or swindle people out of selling it to them, like IG, Instagram, was Threads. What's going on with Threads? That was legitimately something that was a success. And I don't hear that much about it. And he's going back to the metaverse, which is fine. He's named his whole company Meta. And then he's trying to still talk about AI and all that stuff. But he has Threads, he got some stuff with AI. But this metaverse, man, why can't I quit you? What is going on?
What's funny? I heard about this story on Threads. I don't know. The algorithm just seems to like talking about Zuck and the metaverse. It's just happening that way right
I
now.
wonder how that works.
Amazing. I'm looking at my phone right now. Yeah, it's still there. But
Yeah.
no, I think this is legitimately cool technology. I sent it around to a few people and they were just like, "Oh wow, okay. It's actually interesting. What's going on here?" This version of the metaverse, it doesn't look like the Nintendo characters where you have your big lollipop people with the big heads and skinny body.
Yeah.
It's okay, here's a completely different take on it. Here's something we can use for businesses. And actually, it might end up looking you ever see one of those movies like V for Vendetta where you have all the guys in the dark room and the floating heads and you just see their chest and the bust shot of this floating evil head? That's what this reminds me of. Where you just have people floating in the dark. But
I mean, you're not wrong, Mr. Benja, because the more I'm thinking about it, we just talked about it. Content is king. These creators need to create more and more stuff to stay relevant in their industry. If you're a coach or you're a whatever, you want to have content constantly out there so you can build this audience and be oversubscribed, like we talked about earlier, right? And this AI metaverse stuff could absolutely do that, right? They've already had these tools like iCastle and other AI tools to replicate your voice. They already have AI image or avatars, AI avatars that can emulate customer service. So why can't they just AI your face and your voice, and then all you gotta do is get some VAs, virtual assistants, or even heck AI to create content, write it up, and then now you got constant content going 24/7. Yeah, almost like that NPC character we talked about, Pinky, that right? That's just constantly
yeah,
going
yeah.
out to, to your audience, right? Just and you just say, hey, talk about three things: building your brand, growing your social media presence, and personal development. And boom, it's sending you content 24/7 and you do nothing. I can see that happen. I think that's absolutely what's going to happen. Just think about it. This is a lot. I'm putting a lot of content out there now, and I have a team and all this stuff. But what if I could just get AI to do all that for me? Push a button. So if Zuck has figured this out to make this look good, that you're impressed with it, then there may be some. I could absolutely see IG just F CapCut. We got all this stuff for you, man. We create your image and your voice. Just go with us. Forget CapCut. Forget all these other stuff.
Dog, we're gonna jump into AI in the next story, but I Zuck is back. He's here, man, with the Instagram love that he's getting, the threads. For the few people who are using it, it's not like a lot of people, but the people who are really in there using it, I can start to see these clusters of people who really like threads and are having these great conversations. They're there. And Facebook hasn't really done anything massive lately. But this AI play, I think, is really not AI, VR play is really going to push them into that next era. And I think I'm just saying, metaverse is hot again after this.
See? Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we will. Will it beat out what Apple's got going on? What's Google hiding? I don't know. but somebody's getting this VR thing together, and I don't know, it might be kind of cool.
Love it. Love it.
Do you really? It don't
All
sound like you
right.
love
I know, guys. I'm sorry. Just something popped up. So on the podcast, that's never good. But yeah, we're gonna keep it moving though. Let's do
Theo's in the metaverse. All right. Uh, story number 3. We've got our neighborhood AI watch. So we got to keep an eye out on all this AI stuff because honestly, there's so much going around that it's mind blowing. Mind blowing actually how much amazing stuff is being put out there and is being done and people are trying. We've got I saw AI commenting on another AI post and now that kind of blew my mind. I was like, huh, I'm pretty sure that's AI, and I'm pretty sure that's AI responding to that other AI. Now they're having a damn conversation. This person needs to clean up their comment section, but I left that alone. But the one that sparked this one was Spotify. I'm always interested when companies get into doing stuff. When regular people are doing it, fine, whatever, play around. But when big corporations start using it, that's when I start to take notice. So Spotify is testing using AI to automatically clone and translate podcast voices. This is from Ars Technica, or you can go to Spotify yourself and find some of the information. But basically, they're taking certain podcasts and saying, you know what? We have this library of this person's voice. We can just translate their voice into something else and into Italian. We can translate in German, French, Portuguese, or whatever. Wherever this person is popping, we can translate that podcast into that language so that person, wherever they are, can listen to it how they want to. I thought that was pretty badass. I don't, it's kind of scary, but I don't know, kind of badass. I don't know.
Technically, yes, it is badass, but I would say this, man. I
Technically,
think
it's
this is
badass.
yeah, technically, actually, what's the comic book guy? Actually, but I do see the legal ramifications, man. We're gonna have to have legal representation for our avatar selves, our digital selves, right? So yes, me, you, Mr. Benja are real people, but we have public personas now, right? On YouTube, Instagram, and stuff like that. And I can absolutely see legal firms growing up to say, hey, that's the real Theo Harvey's content. You can't just take it away. Or that's Mr. Benja's content. You can't just take that away. And then people come in, Ben, what's going on? Nah, that's my digital stuff. I don't know. I let the take care of that. It's almost like we talked about this. There's that, public persona. Celebrities have done it for years, but this public persona and private persona. And this public persona is the one that's going to be fighting the battles for you so that you protect your voice. AI doesn't learn off of your voice or things like that. I mean, we already see with the writer's strike how they push back on a lot of that stuff, not training the models with their content. To your point, we also talked about the guy, the voiceover actor, right, who does all the Harry Potter series, right? They were taking his voice without his consent to put that out there. So I absolutely see a lot of lawsuits and stuff starting to bubble up from this because these AI models, they need to be trained with something. And then people are realizing I can't let these AI models get touch my data. As a matter of fact, that leads into the other point I was going to bring up. I sent it to you that how Getty Images, right? They're known for their beautiful imaging and all that
Mhm.
stuff. They are creating their own AI algorithm separate from
Yeah.
OpenAI and everything else using their data, which is genius, which is, I
Yes.
think more and more people are going to start doing because they realize, why am I letting train these other models on my stuff? And then I got to sue them later or figure out some kind of way to get justified. Because people say, hey, I want a Getty like image for chandelier or something.
Yeah.
Getty's, wait a minute, we charge people for that. That's our business model. And
Yeah.
so I think we're going to see more and more of that happen, man. This legal reference. Yes, it's badass. And I'm played around with some of this stuff, but it's going to be the wild. It's going to be crazy, man. If I was a legal person like that, I told my brother-in-law was a law person. I said, man, you need to get into this business because this is going to be huge. They're going to be so many lawsuits and so many people restricting AI access to certain data, especially if you are big and you have an audience and all that. Dude, you better protect your image.
What I just thought of while you're saying that with the Getty images, they always put together images from the Met Gala, right? Um,
Mhm.
the big fashion thing. Everybody goes to see the art and fashion and the crazy outfits. So if you say, I want something that looks like they're at a gala, I want a crazy outfit, I want to see a tall, slender person, black hair, whatever, at a gala, it's probably going to pull something from Getty Images. And you know this because whenever it would do the AI version of that, you'd see some little jumbled kind of thing in the
Mhm.
lower right corner. And you're like, what is that? So there are so many Getty images that they all had their logo in the corner that it thought that a gala image
That's part of it.
it thought that logo was part of what a gala image is. So
Mm.
now think about this. You're going around and you're going to these events, you're going to a football game, you're going to whatever. They've got cameras all around. And you know how they always have they have the signs at some of these Hollywood events or some of these public events that say, hey, if you're here, you're consenting to being filmed. It's just a public place. We're going to be taking pictures, so don't get all upset. Now it's, hey, we've got cameras all around. We're going to be filming all y'all. Because guess what? All y'all about to get turned into our AI data.
Woo!
That's an
Good point.
interesting concept.
Dang, you're right. You consent to even showing up to concerts or sporting events to or even a public place. Heck, if you just go to a kid's birthday party, people can take your image and do stuff like that. So, wow. We might see people just that's probably why they don't want to go nowhere. See, forget that. I want my image safe. Nah, man, this is deeper than people realize, man. This image takings and really protecting your data, your personal data, obviously. And if you have a business, that's a whole nother separate conversation on the data you produce that way. You're an artist, Mr. Benja. I know you're constantly thinking about that, right? Or how
Well,
your artistry is going to be displayed via AI or if not, how do you restrict that?
that's why I started pushing the brand thing so long ago. I was like, it's impossible for me to ever really solidify myself as I wouldn't say impossible, but it's going to be very hard to without that personal brand to
Mhm.
solidify myself as something. I can't just create a bunch of work and then be like, hey, look, this is my work. And actually, we don't know that. This kid in
Mm.
Russia has the same type of work you have, and this girl over in Pakistan has the same kind of work you have. In fact, somebody down the street in Austin, Texas has the same kind of work you have. What are you talking about? And you're like, oh crap, they stole my style. They may have legitimately stolen your style, but what you gotta do? Get mad? I was at
I would push back too. I don't think it's just artists, it's everybody. Why do you
no,
think I'm
no,
trying to build a personal brand? Because you become a commodity if you don't have we talked about this, right? Prices, you have your cost and you have your price, right? This is what it is.
mhm,
The goal is to make that perceived value so much higher than what you charge. And the
yeah,
way you do that is with branding. You have to put yourself out there more or specific use cases that are the value you bring to the marketplace. And that's why everyone needs to have a personal brand nowadays, man, because if you don't, you become a commodity so fast. And you won't be able to have enough margin to be success and grow your business because if you're getting by, oh, Mr. Benja's artist, Mr. Theo's art right down the street, right? Just like milk. Who cares? But if you
right,
have a perceived value of wow, Mr. Benja, he does 8-bit art and he understands it because he was a video game program, there's a story behind it.
yeah,
Okay, now I understand. And guess what? He only did this one print because he did Red Dead Redemption, and he understands this piece of that no one else understands. Boom.
dude. I didn't know what this was, but there are like there are programs, literal not there are literal programs, bots, and everything, where if you decide you want to, and I forgot the term for it, but it's like a something kind of digital e-commerce hitman. It's this
Mhm.
term. What they basically do is they get all your information, free information, not like hacking or anything. They just look at everything you're doing and okay, they're doing this, they're doing that, they're doing this. All right. Press a button after they've given it all the data, copy your website, copy your storefront, copy your SEO, copy your messaging, copy your blog. Anybody who's commented or liked, they copy that person's list. So now they start advertising on Instagram towards those people. They start advertising on Google toward those people. And if you have, and this is an actual example of somebody that happened on TikTok, she sold vintage sunglasses. So if her site was like vintage sunglasses by Anna, they would create vintage sunglasses by Sarah. by Vine, by Joe, by John, and they would simply
Ugh.
outnumber you. So when you said vintage sunglasses by, the search would come up and you're like, "Oh, was it Sarah or okay, whatever." And you just pick one, and yeah, all that gets funneled back to some business overseas, and the game is dirty.
Man, you know what, Mr. Benja? You just I got an idea, Mr. Benja. I'll tell you about it offline. I
Mm,
already know. I
all right,
already got the idea.
all right, we'll do it offline. Cool, man. Will it be sustainable? That's a good question, and that brings us to story number 4. We talk a lot about Hollywood, but is Hollywood actually sustainable? We talk about this here and there, and now we're asking the question again because things are moving on the way they are. And once again, it seems like the middle ground is being scooped out, and you've got these big Hollywood productions on one end, and you've got a bunch of little indie producers with iPhones and GoPros on the other end. And I don't know who to believe, Theo. Somebody's dying. Both of them may be dying. Both of them may flourish. I don't know. I just don't know what's going on here. What is the future? Indie, big budget. What's the idea?
So when you talk about this, you talk about like mostly like feature film like, movies and stuff like
Yeah,
that. Off of the
when I say the
stand.
big guys, right?
Yeah, it's tough, man. We talked about this. I was telling you about a show that they had an image where it's just wow, this is like a theater level, and I'm watching it on my iPhone, right? It's just wow. What I mean, laugh. Fast right, the vision progress. Remember when Tenet came out? The big thing was Christopher Nolan. I gotta have it in theaters, right? This is the
Yeah,
way it's intended to be watched. Someone put a joke out there. He said, "I finally watched Tenet on the way Christopher Nolan wanted to see it on a 3-inch box in the hospital, right?" Who cares, man? What people want to see this stuff. But I say all to say is, man, but they have that theatrical kind of look, right? And feel. You're like, man, I'm watching this on TV. Now you get to the movies, man, and it's tough, man. I was going to talk about this, but I had the chance to see The Creator. Great movie. Garth, his last name, I can't remember his right name. Edwards, I think he did Rogue One, but the
oh,
Rogue
yeah,
One, he
Gareth
got kicked
Edwards.
off. Gareth Edwards, thank you. He got kicked off, and so now he's been going on his own journey. He's a great director, man. The stuff he comes up with is very inventive, and The Creator is definitely one of those I highly recommend everyone go check out. But it's like one of those things where people don't realize that he only spent $80 million to make that movie. It looks like he spent 200 million, to be honest with
Yeah,
you. And that's where it needs to go to because these big budget Hollywood movies are just not sustainable. If you spend $200 million for and then 100 million for VFX that you don't even use in shots because no one knows they haven't finished writing the script. You spend wasting all that money. Then you're
yeah.
looking at a point where that these movies are sustainable. They got to make $1 billion to make money. And how many movies are making $1 billion anymore? So, you know.
Did let me jump in right quick. Did the writers strike and actor strike and all this talk about striking, did it bring up anything about VFX artists? Because that's been a hot topic too.
You know what? No, remember there's the whole game thing that there were the
Yeah,
game
yeah,
where they were trying to connect with that. But yeah, you know what? I think that's on the other side of it. Remember I told you there's another strike that's coming. These are the behind the scenes guys, like the key grips and all that stuff. That may be a part of that strike, the VFX strike, if that comes up. But yeah, I can absolutely see that coming about to your point. But I say all I have to say is it sustainable? No, man. It's indie films are tough. You can make it work. We
yeah,
talked about this. People are putting stuff on Redbox,
yeah.
Amazon. We could do a film tomorrow, man. Mr. Benja, have it on Amazon tomorrow.
Yeah, there are like mobile phone competitions where create a movie with your mobile phone. The new iMovie that works with your iPhone is basically going to kick people's asses. They're saying, dude, this new iMovie on the iPhone is crazy. I shouldn't say iMovie. The new Final Cut on iPhone is crazy
Ooh,
developed for
really?
mobile. Yeah, so
Okay.
basically, they're trying to make an iPad movie production studio, and that's the vision I heard was coming out. So, you know what? You got an iPad movie production studio, audio, video, post-production effects, etcetera. Like your scripting, all that right there on your iPad. So that's what they're trying to create. And that's why I was thinking about the VFX because I'm looking at this article here that says, in fact, it's talking about the creator. It said the creator VFX artists say AI is here to stay. We're already using it.
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah, Marvel's VFX artists are voting unanimously to unionize. And so you're talking about making it easier to bring that cost down from like a 200 million to a 100, maybe 80, 50, or whatever. VFX and AI might be the way. These creators who have this big vision, they might just be like, AI is cool sometimes, right? Come on, guys.
Mhm. And so is it sustainable, the indie market? I think it is, but you have to just be extremely focused and low end. So Steven Soderbergh, he's all tours. He did about 3 movies with just the iPhone alone. He did one movie called Unsane. He did another movie about a basketball guy. I can't remember the name of it. And he's just really experimenting with. But I'm looking at the site. There's like about 8 movies here. There's one movie called Tangerine about a trans sex worker who goes berserk when a pimp
Mm.
cheats on her. That was filmed exclusively on the iPhone. So you look, man. I would argue. You would tell me, let me know if I'm right or wrong on this. You're only creative when you have restrictions. And so indie, in my mind, is someone if they can create something that's impactful, powerful, whether you have just an iPhone or you create something that looks like it's worth $200 million and only spent 80 million on it. To me, that shows your creativity that you can make it happen. And so I don't think this is more a question of just to create. There's a lack of creativity, not so much a lack of opportunity. And so I think that's what people need to start realizing. As a creative artist yourself, you tell me creativity should flourish when there's more restrictions.
Yeah, I don't putting it out in that term because an executive is going to hear it, be like,
As an executive, yes. How
like,
about you could do this? Yes, for $2 million. How about this? Do the
yeah.
same thing, but only for 500K. I know you can do it.
We actually don't have any computers, but we have this teletype machine and a
Perfect.
old Vectrex
Perfect.
monitor back there. Yeah, that's it's all bad. Not those kind of constraints. All right, we'll see how it turns out. If anybody has any ideas on what they think about the sustainability of big Hollywood or even being an indie creator with so much stuff out there and no way to monetize, I'd like to hear some more opinions on that because that's always an interesting topic. So let's jump into our final story, story number 5. James Gunn is out here saying stuff we don't understand. Dude, you brought this up and I had seen it but didn't want to talk about it. So lead us off with this one, Theo. What's this guy talking about?
Yeah, briefly, James Gunn running the DC universe and the DC universe. He said in so many words that nothing is canon. So basically, everything we saw pre DCU and other stuff until Creature Commandos next year, a sort of separate entity of DCU, and then deeper dive into Universal Superman Legacy and after that. So if I'm reading this right, Mr. Benja, he's saying Creature Commandos will be canon in his reign before even Superman and Batman, which is mind blowing. For
Let
those who don't know, Mr. Benja, what are Creature Commandos?
let me go over to Bing GBT and see what my Microsoft Edge AI enabled browser has to say
Oh
about what
Lord.
Future
Are we
Commander.
being sponsored? Are we being sponsored here? What?
No, I just like playing with this thing. And what's funny is it's actually choking on this. It doesn't know what to say. It's hold on.
Look, that's exactly the way it should be.
It's
So it
like
doesn't matter who the creature commandos are. It doesn't matter.
it's the AI. AI is wait, Creature Commandos. What the hell is this? No one looks for this.
What the rock
Um,
say? It doesn't matter what the creature commandos are. It just
wait,
shows you that who cares? Then he's using that as canon. The start of his canon watch for DC tells you everything you need to know about James Gunn ability to shepherd this new. And I wasn't a big against him fan, but just having that comment just shows me that I don't know if this he's the right guy, man.
oh, let's
Are we getting
yeah, let's finish the comment. He said nothing is canon until Creature Commandos next year. Okay. A sort of aperitif to the DCU. Go look that up, kids, whatever. I know what it is, but I'll carry on. And then a deeper dive into the universe with Superman Legacy after that. Says some other stuff. But then he goes on to say, it's a very human drive to want to understand everything all the time. But I think it's okay to be confused on what's happening in the DCU, since no one has seen anything from the DCU yet. Ladies and gentlemen, James Gunn says, you shut your confused ass up. No one understands me. I'm a big time creative and I'm running your childhoods into the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, but this does not. And he's doing two things. He's creative, which I get, sensitive about his art, which I get. At the same time, he's trying to do that executive speaker. And I don't know if he can do both, man. It's like hard to do both. You can't have the executive speak because he's trying to distance himself for the shenanigans, the bombs that are Black Adam and
Yeah.
Shazam.
How you gonna talk about this and we not even say anything about Aquaman? At least support your own stuff coming out in what?
He tried to do the flash. He saw what happened. It flashed and blew up in his face. Like
He
a little
lied
thing.
like a he lied, man. He was talking about it's the greatest film he's ever seen and it's the greatest movie of all time. Gunn, come on, Gunn. You're killing me. That's all I gotta say, man. I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm
no
trying to keep
pun not
objective.
intended. Yeah, pun not intended. But hey, guys, look, this has Benja. This has been great. We're going to end this podcast. Hey, guys, look, I hope you enjoyed this one. This is a great one for us. Please like, subscribe, and comment at Show versus Business on Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Listen to us at Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you listen to podcasts. But you want to check us out, you'll see who we are and what we're about. Go visit our website at Show versus Business. But Mr. Benja, man, have a good one.
Peace in the metaverse.